No, I don't have time for any of that. I got to watch all these messages and controls over here.
I mean, what's the issue? You're over 60, so you're supposed to be technically challenged, but by the same token, everybody is these days, right?
No, not
I would have said
guys.
something else in a private meeting, but you know, we do have a group of folks here.
Yes.
We like to have fun. We like to
There's
go
Steve.
through, but let's move on to any questions that folks have. We got several new people, or to me, they seem like they're new. Oh, there's a person who's been around for a while, Steve Young and Sarah. You know, all those guys have been around for a while. Glad to see you guys here tonight.
My thinking of Sarah just shot way up. Also, I like her Chardonnay. I'm jealous. That's what I would have if I could.
What's stopping you?
I just got home a few minutes ago and it's Coke.
Okay, well, that's better. Did you get it in the powder form or the can?
I don't know, it's got a pop top on it, so I think it was carbonated. I think it's fine.
Yeah, that's the only way I could crack that joke if I saw the can. Otherwise, people will be calling into WXXI or Channel 13 about me.
Well, they would be okay. My concern is they'd be calling the sheriffs to come here.
Yeah, they're not gonna do that. So we have such a small amount of time, but who's got some questions that they have deep thought about and they don't know the answer to and they want us to answer it? Nobody?
You got some bashful people on tonight.
Yep, no one?
Well, I was actually just, I just talked to Joe earlier today about doing some notes or learning some more about that. So finally read Jimmy Napier's book, Invest in Debt, and just kind of wanted to learn more about that because I've been doing the tenants and toilets and trash and flips and that sort of thing. So kind of transitioning away from that is what I'm interested in.
Yeah.
Music
I mean, clearly there's a lot of things in that particular space to be learned. And one of the big challenges is you have to think a little bit differently, but certainly a lot of people have made that switch and that's basically all they do. But it is as I've found over the years, it is a very unique space with like everything in real estate on the surface is very, very easy, but they all items have their challenges. Just my 2 cents.
Yeah, well, everything has its, they're not giving money away.
Well, another way of saying it is, if it was as easy as everybody told you to, everybody be rich.
Yeah. I would love to be able to take a look at notes down the road. There's just not enough time and too much to do or too many choices. So I guess I stay in my lane, as they say, but I definitely want to be able to look at that eventually.
Yeah. Yeah, the older you get, the less interest you have in tenants.
And these days and times, you could always make the comment, the younger you get, the less interest you have with tenants because you recognize all the craziness that's going on. So we're going to have some information up on the website. I'll take a couple of minutes before we get into the meeting, Joe, to basically deviate a little bit off of the format where we say no toilets and no tenants, to say there's going to be a fair amount of information coming out on the website associated with the city and the county and what they're going to be doing to allow landlords to be paid for the rent that they have missed. And I hesitated like that just a second ago because I just finished reading through some of the items associated with it. On surface, things like we said earlier seem like they're fairly simple, but things get somewhat complex. So over the course of the next couple of weeks, we'll work our way through this new program that the county and the city are putting up. And the county and city have decided what they're going to do is take their $36 million and they're going to distribute that to the county and the city of Monroe and the city of Rochester, and they're going to forget about the monies that's associated with New York State and what they might provide. And that's an easy way of saying it. It's not absolutely 100% true, but in actuality, it comes very, very close. And I don't know what the city is going to do as far as providing a little bit more information around the reason why they made that decision. I was in a meeting on Tuesday that lasts for an hour and a half where we talked about that and the fact that the city basically felt that they would end up with more funds for the residents of the city and the county, because they're both in it together to get to the 36 million. And they felt that there would be a lot less paperwork, a lot less questions. And so they have basically taken that approach. The challenge that we have and what we've agreed to do is to try to make sure we get the information out to all of our members. So you'll see some things coming out about that. You'll see some things on the website, and we'll try to do probably in our in our housing provider support meetings, you'll see information associated with that process and how things are rolling out as we go forward.
Thank you, Leon, for
Carl is on the call. Now, Carl can explain it many times better than I can.
about what?
What I just talked about.
No, I'm talking about the fact that you corrected yourself, that we have a AKA landlord. We are now housing providers. Thank you very much. I wanted to compliment you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So what I'm going to do is we're like at 7:03, and I'm going to apologize to Mr. Joe Labavera and give the meeting and session back over to him because I got a little bit into the toilet and tenants arena.
That's perfectly fine, because that is extremely important, actually. And besides, you're the president. You can do whatever you want, Leon. Hope you're on mute, but that's okay.
Yeah, I know. I said not whatever, but okay.
Yeah, and besides, it's, with regards to what Leon was talking about, even though we're not housing providers, some of us are on this call, it affects us all the way through. So understand, whether you're looking to buy and hold or whether you're flipping, apartments or multi-units, that is really huge, because now instead of buying a non-performing asset, you're actually going to have an asset that's actually going to start to pay. So that even though we stay away from tenants and toilets, that actually affects all of us right through. Okay. Okay. Actually, I should have actually done the intro, and I apologize here. I don't know if there's any new people on there. If there's any, if you are new, this is the Alternative Real Estate Investment Association. We focus on everything having to do with, I was going to say tenants and toilets. Oh my God. Everything having to do with making money in real estate except for tenants and toilets. We have a whole separate meeting for that, which is through the housing provider. The next one is going to be next Thursday evening at this time. And Carl Weeks is the one who runs the evening one. Is that correct? Am I getting
That
that?
is correct, yes.
Perfect. So if
Along-
you
along-
have-
Along with Beth Short of Gallagher Property Management, we co-team this. See you next Thursday.
Perfect. And for those of you who don't know, Carl has more experience than most of us could even dream about when it comes to the housing providing. He's unbelievable. He's got to be in. I don't even know how many houses you've actually managed. It's got to be somewhere between 700 and 1,000 over the years, if not more than that.
Well, over the years, Joe, I would guess I'm done counting. Probably over 3,000.
Wow. That's bigger than most apartment complexes.
Not at one time. They come and go, but altogether,
Yeah.
a total of over 3,000, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. That's fantastic. So for those of you who want to know about being a housing provider, that's the meeting to really tap into. That's going to be next Thursday night, same time. And you just check it out on the website, and we'll go from there. This call over here, we keep it kind of open forum. And and basically, if you have questions, feel free to put it out there and ask. You're in a room full of people who do everything from lending to flipping to holding properties to apartment buildings. People who've begun, people who've not begun. So it's a great resource to be able to take advantage as far as what's going on here. Okay. One of the things that I like to do is, oh, by the way, is Scott Spear even on here right now, or is he not on yet?
No, he's not on.
Okay, so he's probably with his dad. He's probably Scott Spear. He's actually the co-host for this, and he was actually going to be talking about the storage. Oh my God, what's it called there? The storage
Investor Network.
Yes.
I was there today. I was on it.
Oh, awesome.
He was busy all day. Scott was everywhere.
Yep. He's actually speaking tomorrow, I think at 1:30 in the afternoon. And so he's actually going to be on a panel. And this is it's going on. It's all day today, all day tomorrow, and Saturday. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's what I've got.
Perfect. I wanted to get on today and I couldn't, but they are recorded. So it's a great place to be able. So if you want to know about storage, and they're going to answer anything having to do with, these are national people who bought all over the country. It's a great place to be able to get connected and also get your questions. They'll actually be taking questions, so you can actually talk to these people and network.
What was the name of the storage place again? The organization?
Storage Investment Network. I don't know. I don't have the link to it. I don't know if somebody does, if they want to put it up on the chat.
I do not have it, Joe.
Scott was supposed to be on it to talk about it.
I think I have the link. I'll look for it right now. He sent it to me.
All right. I would look for it, but I gotta do the Zoom meeting. Thanks, Colleen.
And you said he's having a program next week?
It's for the housing providers. Yes, that's going to be next Thursday night. If you go on FFREIA.com, FFREIA.com, it'll tell you everything you want to know, everything we have going on. So if you want to stay connected with what's going on here locally, and some of these people are from outside the area and doing stuff throughout the country, just click on that link and you'll be able to get whatever the information you need to get. Okay? Perfect. One of the things we'd like to do here is do what's called haves and wants. So you actually have an opportunity. If you're looking for some properties or whatever it is you're looking to buy, put it out there. Let some of us know, because there are real estate agents on it. They're working with other investors. If you're looking to buy and hold something, if you're looking for a rental in the city or a flip in the suburbs or whatever it is you're looking for, put it out there. Not one person wants one piece of property. Am I the only one here? Am I greedy or something?
Well, what I can tell you what I'm looking to do, and I'm interested in the SBA loans and the PPE loan. I finally got the link from my bank. And by the way, I'm Amy, and my iPad is at like 40%, so I probably have to charge it and just be on no mic or camera. But I figured I'd log on since she was asking questions. I have a garage that's being stored now, and of course the deadbeat hasn't been paying his rent, you know, and I know it's not the same as evicting a tenant, which I have dealing with that as well. But I'm trying to basically he owes me money. I'm trying to kick him out and convert the garage into like a tiny house / Airbnb. I'm really interested in that. I've been interested for a minute to do that.
Okay. Well, let's see. I don't know if there's people, I know there's people who do Airbnb within this group. I don't know if there's any on here tonight, but we'll find out afterwards. So basically you're interested in doing more Airbnbs.
Well, I've never done Airbnb. I have like regular tenants, and I've, had since this past year of COVID, I had, tenant squatters from hell who busted the window, and I had, luckily they screwed up so much, I was able to close it from code enforcement to get rid of them. And I have another tenant now that I'm trying to do eviction, and then the garage guy who's been nickeling and diming me.
Okay.
So yeah, but I'm interested because Airbnb, you can probably get almost as much as renting out a regular unit.
Yeah.
And you don't have to worry about like deadbeat tenants.
Yeah. By the way, if you want anything else about your tenants next Thursday night, you can talk about them till your heart's content. Carl has heard every story and then some, and so is Beth. And yeah, so you can definitely do that. All right. For myself, just so I'm sure most people know, I'm looking for commercial residential properties. I'm also looking for fix and flips. I'm also looking for buy and holds. I will do small properties in the city, and I will also do large commercial places, outside of the city. And I'm also looking at industrial and commercial office buildings also, along with apartment buildings. Anyone else? Don't tell me nobody else is looking on this on the Zoom meeting.
Well, I'm Mike Brown, and I'm looking for some buy and holds, small residential, and excuse me for wearing my mask at that company. But yeah, I'm looking for some. But like I said, I'm a baby at this, and I'm looking to learn and take my time before I do so. But yeah, I'm looking for some properties, and I kind of like got a goal to try to at least do one a year, get my feet wet, see how it is.
Are you looking to do flips, or are you looking to buy and hold?
More buy and hold for now.
Whereabouts?
At first I was looking at West Side City, but then I was looking at city properties more. So I was thinking the West Side City, or like around the 14606 area code or 19 area code.
Okay. The reason why I ask is because there's people out here who will be selling their stuff, and also, there's other real estate agents on here. Colleen Bracci's on here right now. I know that she does about 100 to 150 houses a year.
No, a month, per month, Joe, per month. This lady is crazy.
It is on fire, so that's how come, like Mike, if you're looking for stuff, definitely, let people know, because your ability to network and connect with people on this call will be able to get you stuff that nobody else will be able to get to. Okay?
Right, that's the feeling I had, so that's why I mentioned it out. But thanks for letting me know. I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And then I know also is Mary Jane Griggs, who's Leon's wife there. She's also a broker, real estate agent also. So there's a few of them on here that you guys connect with. Okay.
All right.
Anybody else here looking for stuff? Don't tell me nobody's looking, because I'm going to be shocked.
I'm looking, Joe.
What are you looking for, Colleen?
I have clients coming in from Israel next week, and they're a little bit different than most clients. They really want nice tenants. They don't care what area. They're not even all that concerned about how high the rent is, as long as they have a nice tenant. If it's a tenant that's been in the property for 15 years and they're only paying $600 for a single, they'll consider it, because they feel that the tenants that are nice and polite and stable will stay with them, and that's what they want. So they're looking for singles that are not on the MLS, because trust me, I've exhausted the MLS. Singles under 50, and doubles under 75. And they want to buy 10 next week. And the catch is they are in town on Tuesday and Friday. And those 2 days are the days that they want me to take them into the properties. So if it's like an assignment and you don't think we can get into the property, then I can't do it because they want to physically see the property. So if anybody has anything, let me know.
Well, Colleen, a couple questions. Are they new to the area? What brought them here? What got them excited about this area? And do they have other existing properties?
They were working with a wholesaler out of Buffalo, Niagara Falls area, and they bought several, like 300. Do you know Keith Canazzi in Buffalo?
I do.
So they bought several hundred, like, I think it's like 300 they bought with him. But now with the market the way it is, Keith hasn't been able to give them a lot of properties, and they've bought some from me over the past couple of years. They kept coming to Rochester, you know, a couple weeks here, a couple weeks there every year. And they've bought maybe 20 properties from me over the years. But now, because their wholesaler in Buffalo has kind of dried up and he doesn't have anything to sell them, they're back in Rochester full steam ahead, and they want to buy as much as they can here.
Wow. Keith, I know Keith for a while was doing 10 to 15 houses per month.
Yeah, they would do back-to-back closings. He would buy them, fix them up, and sell them right to him. You know,
Yep,
so it was
exactly.
quick and easy.
Yep, exactly. Anybody else looking for anything?
Joe, I'll pipe up. I was a member probably about 4 or 5 years ago. I think it was 2016. I remember you, of course, Joe McGuire. I remember, I think I met Amy too, and Steve Young looks familiar too, and a few other faces I really don't recognize. And if you're around then, I'm sorry. My memory's like Swiss cheese these days. So,
Real estate will do that to you.
yeah, right. But my wife and I started an Airbnb business, not with properties that we own. We're looking to partner with people that might want to look at getting more cash flow value out of their houses rather than renting to long-term tenants. So Amy, and again, I think we met way back when, but when you piped up a few minutes ago, that piqued my interest. We've been doing it. I got a property in Cornhill that's been doing really well for us, and looking on closing on a second one in the Mount Hope Avenue area. So we're hot. If you want to discuss and how maybe we can put some more money in your pocket, I'm happy to have conversations with anybody that wants to. Even new Israeli house owners that are coming into town. So, and Amy, I'll text you my phone number if you want to connect
Yes.
after the meeting.
I was gonna ask you, because I'm in Cohoes. I looked online and Airbnb, like in Troy, you can find them sometimes up to like $40, but so when I typed in Cohoes, it went to Troy because it's really not too base. I couldn't find any Airbnbs in Cohoes.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can get $40 for a room, but I mean, you know, it really comes down to what are your goals? I mean, is your goal just to have it at full occupancy? Is your goal to maximize profit? Because those two items might not necessarily mean the same thing.
Exactly.
You know, so it's not a black and white conversation. It's not cut and dry. There's a lot that goes into it. And like I said, I'm happy to have those conversations that anybody that wants to, because it's a good conversation to have and it's a good education to get. Because, you know, it's the industry itself is not so simple or cut and dry. My wife and I, we paid for mentorship, and they're out of Edmonton, Alberta, believe it or not, of all places. And they do $1 million business after 24 months. You know, they started from scratch. So they haven't steered us wrong so far. So we're looking to expand. If it's something you might want to discuss, or maybe meet over a beverage or coffee. I know that's kind of taboo today. And
If you want, you know, put your information on the chat box. You guys can definitely chat.
I'll add
Absolutely.
And I was
by
gonna
the way, I apologize. I want to be respectful to everybody else here because I just want to see whoever else wants anything, and we'll get to some of your questions right afterwards. Okay? So does anybody else have anything that they're looking for? Put it out there, or anything you want to sell, because we're looking to buy too.
Joe,
I'm always looking for notes, Joe.
What?
I'm always looking for mortgages.
at a discount.
At a discount.
Do you buy houses at retail?
I'm looking for storage units and any sort of multifamily, like 4+ units, maybe up to 20 around the area. Can't
Which
seem to
area?
find anything. Well, I'm out in the Finger Lakes, but I'd be willing to consider anything within an hour drive. I'm in Geneva.
Okay.
Marianne, storage units, your mentor is Scott Spear. I mean,
I've been in contact with him,
Okay.
and
Okay.
and Mike Wagner, and I was on the Storage Investor Nation. It was Storage Investor Nation Summit today
There you go.
and tomorrow and Saturday.
Yeah, I got to get on it. Ugh, it's driving me crazy. I couldn't get on it today, but
Joe, let me interrupt for 1 second. I want to ask Amy a question. Amy, did you say you're in Cohoes?
Yeah,
That's what I thought. Okay.
it,
All right, go.
is that out? Where is that out toward Albany area?
yes,
it's
no,
a
it's right next to Troy and Watervliet and Waterford.
Oh,
We're like
okay.
the border between Saratoga and Albany County.
Love Saratoga.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Amy is normally on Jamie Kane's calls.
Yeah, real estate roundtable. So that's why I'm
Yeah.
familiar with some of the people here.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Well,
so
good.
that's probably how she got our name and the contact information. So welcome to you.
Yes,
And this group here is dynamic, and they'll give you information in there that you never thought someone had.
Thank you.
Amy, I was going to say, at one time I was your neighbor. I
You-
lived in Manans, but
Oh,
that was like a long time ago, but yeah.
man. All right. So anybody else?
Yeah. Joe and Colleen, this is a question for you in the chat box. It's a pretty interesting question. I wanted to ask, can you still find good deals in Rochester MLS during this hot market? A lot of farmers are saying that you can only really find good deals through wholesaling. Is this true? Joe first.
I was gonna let Colleen go first.
Okay, Colleen first.
As far as the MLS goes, it's a seller's market and it is very competitive. Buyers are putting offers in on dozens of properties before they get one. And I'm not talking about just investment property, residential property is even worse. The investment property market is all about numbers. So it's a little less emotional. So it's a little easier for people to throw offers on properties. But nevertheless, it is very competitive. And, I get calls every day with people saying, well, let me know before you put it on the market. Let me know before you put it on the market. Well, here's the situation. When I sit down with a seller and I tell them what the market's like, and I tell them, you're going to list your house at this, but you're probably going to get $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 more if we put it on the market. They don't want to just hand it off to the first person who makes an offer, unless that person's coming in $20,000, $30,000 more than what I told them the house was worth originally. And to be honest, whatever a realtor tells a seller the house is worth, there's no rhyme or reason to any of it. I may as well just throw up some cards in the air and pick a number, because honestly, I just sold one in Greece. I had it listed for 115. It sold for 155.
That was mine, Colleen.
Yeah.
Yep. We haven't actually met in face to face. We just had phone conversation. Yeah. So
I had no
nice
idea.
to see ya.
Nice to finally meet you, Sarah.
Yeah. Yes. I was just about to
anyhow.
say it sold for 40 grand over asking price.
Oh my God.
Right. So, I mean, it's, and what did I tell you when we listed it? You were worried about getting 115.
Yeah.
It's a little rough. We had tenants and I'm like, please don't worry about that. Don't worry. You're going to get a lot more than that. And
Yep.
that's why it's difficult to find deals right now. There is no inventory out there and everybody is clamoring and overpaying in a lot of cases just to get the house. So I wish I could give you better news on that, but that's what it is.
So Joe, a lot of forums are saying that you can only really find good deals through wholesalers. That's the question.
I mean, obviously I do a ton of wholesaling, but I also fix, flip, buy, hold. I do the whole gamut. We're finding a lot of off-market stuff. This week has been absolutely insane for me. Thankfully, yes, you know, we're finding it obviously a lot better just to be able to go right direct to the sellers. It's always been, for me, it's always worked better that way. I mean, you know, I like the MLS when I'm selling, but not when I'm buying. Okay. And, you know, and again, it goes in spurts, but right now, I have real estate agents that are calling me for properties, real estate agents, you know, and you know, and they were referred to me. I don't even know some of these people, but they were referred to me. So the gentleman who asked that question, you're not the only one that's trying to find properties. Okay, you're not. And the thing is that, are there deals out there? Yes. Is it easy? No. Okay. And I already know that. I already know that I'm going to hear no, yes. Okay. I'm not worried about the no's. I don't care about that. And, you know, and I just stick my nose to the grindstone. I mean, this week, you know, this week we picked up, I finally got 2 houses I was buying 2 houses under contract. I got them for 2 single family houses occupied for $30,000. Okay. And they were just a couple houses apart from each other. And I know they're worth a heck of a lot more. They just wanted to get rid of them. They wanted out. Okay. They're out there. You just have to find them. I picked up another house today in Greece, which is not for the faint of heart. And then I may have another one in Greece tomorrow, but that's because we're out there just pounding the pavement. And for anybody who's looking, that's why like you know, like this Zoom meeting here and the people you can connect with, you know, you got to let people know what the heck you're looking for. So get connected, like with people with Colleen and some of the other wholesalers within this group, and there's a ton of them. So are you frustrated? Join the club. Even wholesalers get frustrated. It is what it is. But you know, the ones that stop, you know, we don't stop. That's the only thing I focus on. Every single day, I'm just out there marketing and just going after. But the saying is, a house a day keeps a creditor at bay. So that means every single day you got to call, talk, or go look at a house every single day. Something to do with it. In 365 days, you're going to find at least a deal. If you don't, there's something wrong. Okay, that means no matter how hard you try not to, you're going to find one.
If I may, Joe, great stuff. From investor to investor sleeve, yes. Today, wholesalers are the better deal. And the reason being is you're not exposed to the full market. MLS, you're out there in the full market. Prices are being escalated to retail plus retail. In the wholesaler market, you are dealing one-on-one and you're not exposed to the full market. So you're going to get a better deal today. In my opinion, I find it to be true.
I totally agree with that 100%.
Yeah, I mean, I basically agree with that too. I mean, one of the things that if we're going to go down this path of discussion is that we have folks who are highly successful, like my friend, Mr. Joe Labavera. Then he wholesales a whole bunch of properties, and those properties that are really, really, really great, really, really, really super, that you see people talking about, he is also an investor. So you probably will not get those.
Not always. I don't keep everything. I do.
I agree. I agree, but I'm still waiting for a property from you that is in one of those great neighborhoods at a great price.
Wow.
the point here is not to beat up on Joe. The point here is to give you a reference point. And that reference point is, my finding has been in, Carl, you can correct me if I'm wrong. If there's a really great deal, it would be asinine for a wholesaler to give that to you. They're going to give you the deals that they feel are marginal deals, or deals that are the ones that they don't want to do for whatever reasons. And that's human nature. You have to expect that. So if you go out and you are looking for a really, really great deal, then you need to be looking for motivated sellers. You need to be doing all that front end stuff yourself. Now, the problem with that is if you take that approach, you're going to spend a lot of time doing that. And I can tell you right now, if you start today and you go down the road 6 months, probability and statistics say is that you're not going to be close to as close to being successful as Joe is. So, you know, it's one of those things where that's just the way it is, and you have to put it in the work to get the results that ends up being a prize.
Well,
So I'll give it back over to you, Joe.
well, you know, the other thing too is that for a lot of people, and by the way, I want to go over some stuff too also, but I'm going to ask because I want to do a little bit of a last meeting we had 2 weeks ago. I want to be able to go over some stuff because it's going to correlate with exactly that question, because I know a lot of people are having a lot of problems finding property right now in inventory. Okay.
Well, I'm going to interrupt you for 1 second, though.
Go ahead.
Just to let you know that Scott joined a couple minutes ago.
Scott.
Hi, Scotty.
Hey guys, how's everybody doing?
There he is. You're not driving, are you?
What?
He's doing Uber.
Uber, yeah, Mr. Uber now.
Are you driving? You're driving.
I'm not driving. I'm parked right now, but I will be driving in a little bit.
With your seatbelt on. You parked with your seatbelt on. That's good, Scott.
Well, you know, being safe.
Oh my God.
That's right.
So, what the heck was it? So Scott, we promoted your Storage Investor Nation. And,
Thank you.
And but I don't know if you want to talk about it real quick over here at all.
Yeah, I'll talk to you quick if you don't mind. It's Storage Investor Nation. They got about 50 speakers that are speaking. Today was a full day, and then Friday and Saturday. You don't have to sit in for the whole session. You can just go online and pick and choose which sessions you want. The nice thing about it is they're going to record all the sessions. So if you buy a pass, it's only $97. You got to use a promo code, just my last name, and then you get $100 off the price. And they're going to record everything, so you can go back and watch whatever sessions you missed, or and watch them at your leisure too. I am going to be speaking tomorrow at 1:15 on a panel. I'm going to talk about raising funds to buy self-storage units. So it's just like what you guys are doing. You know, it's the exact same thing that we're all doing. You go out, you find the money, you find the deal, and you'll find the money. It's just like what you guys are doing. We've said it 100 times. If you find the right deal, you're going to find the money, and that's what we're doing in self-storage. And it's for $97, you're going to learn a lot. Trust me. And they actually have prizes. One company's actually giving away a drone, a HD drone, high under for that thing. And then somebody's giving away, actually Mike Wagner, some of you know him, he's giving away a $10,000 training package. That's his prize that he's giving away. And he's speaking Saturday from 9:30 to 10:30, and he's gonna be talking about napkin theory. You know, if you can put out a piece of napkin and it makes sense, the deal makes sense, you know the deal makes sense. So that's what he's gonna be talking about. And then we got Shane Chapin. He's from Rochester, New York too. He's going to be speaking. I think he speaks Saturday too. Saturday afternoon he's on. So, but I don't know. I could put it in the chat box, or Andy, you might be able to just the link and you put in the promo code SPEAR and it's $97.
Andy's not with us tonight, but Joe's taking his place.
Awesome.
Oh, were you
Awesome.
talking? I'm sorry. I was doing some work here, Scott. I wasn't.
Mhm.
Yeah. Did you want something in the chat box?
I could put something in the chat box.
Yeah, you're
Just
going to
the
be much.
promo code for people to use if they want to use it. If they want $100 off the, it's normally $197 to attend the summit, and it's just $97. And all the speakers are live too, which is nice. It's not like a recorded thing. It's when we speak, we're live, and you can ask questions too. If there's a session you think you might want to enjoy, you can ask questions as they're talking, and it's a really good thing. The guys who set it up doing a good job at it. Yeah, so I'll put some in the chat box if anybody wants to check it out. Thanks.
Perfect. Thanks, Scott. Glad you can actually join us.
Yeah, thanks. Had dinner with my dad earlier, and so we're so now I'm joining you guys, joining the party. Glad to be here.
What state are you in, Scott? Where are you now?
I'm in New York.
Get the hell out of here. Put it in reverse and get out.
I know it's like 40 degrees here. I can't wear my shorts. What the heck is going on, man? It's cold. No sunshine. I don't know what to do today, but yeah, it's my dad's 84th birthday. So I shot up here. I've been in Roanoke, Virginia. And so I shot up here just for a couple days and we just went out, took him out for his birthday dinner tonight.
That's awesome. Awesome.
Right. For those of you who don't know, Scott sold off all his properties, sold off his house, bought a giant rolling house on wheels, and has traveled already from New York to California, all the way back across to the East Coast. And he's planning on visiting 50 states, and he doesn't know for how long he's going to do it for. And was able to do all that from real estate. And now all he does is do storage facilities, and he buys them around, he buys them up and down the East Coast and around the country. Some of them he's never even seen to. But because of that, he's able to basically do whatever the heck it is he wants to do. And that includes drive up here to see his father for a birthday and then drive right back.
He's gonna need that money for gas, probably.
Yeah.
Well, Scott's got an awesome story. He goes back beyond that, further back, Joe, where he was working full time, right, for a company, and was making that fateful decision to transition into full-time real estate. I remember those times, and he mustered a lot of people with that decision-making process. So if there's and to today, he has succeeded in that transition. If anybody ever wants to talk to somebody transitioning from your job to full-time real estate, Scott Spear's your guy. So I'll lock him in.
Well, thank you for the kind words, everybody.
Thanks for joining us.
So one of the things I need to inject, Joe, before we go on, is that the May general meeting for Freedom Spur First will have a guest speaker. Guess who it is? It's Scott.
Oh, Scott
Spear talking about storage units. So we would like to have you all come here and get some firsthand information around what Scott does, how he does it, and how Freedom First has been part of his journey to all those things that Joe Labavera just talked about, where he can travel around the country, because he did that because of the fact that he took advantage, for sake of better words, of Freedom First and those things that it offers.
That's great. So, all right, well, let's call it. I can't wait to hear that. Actually, I forgot, and I apologize for not even mentioning that. That was my fault. So I'm glad you said something about that.
Thank you, everybody.
By the way, does anybody have any questions? Anything that they want to talk about? Anything that they want to ask?
I have have a question, but I noticed someone had a question, I guess, for Scott about storage in the chat. So he could answer that question first, I guess. Somebody.
Wait, well,
Oh, Cheryl, can you operate a storage facility from a leased warehouse? Why would you not want to do that? From Cheryl, I guess. He could answer that first, and I could ask my question.
All right, 1 second here. Operate a storage facility from a leased warehouse. Right.
Scott, I guess the question is, in terms of storage spaces, ownership versus leasing the space. Maybe comment on that.
Yeah, I guess it's like renting a property that you're renting from somebody else. I don't know if I would ever do it. And the reason I'm pretty conservative, you know, let's say they find a way in the lease or something like that to block you out. And, you know, you're running the storage facility, it's very successful, generating a lot of money. And they own the building, and all of a sudden they find a way just to get you out or won't renew your lease. And then you're kind of stuck. You know, I would never want to be in a position where I don't own it. If that's what you meant, Cheryl, I'm wanting to make sure I'm answering your question.
Well, Scott, let me ask it this way. So your approach is you're buying existing storage unit facilities, or are you building ground up?
Oh, okay. I'm all my storage facilities so far have been existing storage facilities. Most of them are owned by mom and pop operators, ready to retire. And so I kind of stepped in and bought them. One we did purchase, it was an estate. Daughter took it over. She couldn't run it. Her dad ran it for years and she just couldn't run it. So we take that over from her. But we do have a couple right now that we're existing and they're 90% full, and we're actually going to be expanding them. We're going to be adding some more storage units. So
I think Scott, the key thing here is your formula does not deal with leased warehousing or anything of that sort. You're not leasing a storage unit or that type thing.
no, not at all. Nope.
I'm just curious with that. So you hire the front desk people or the cashier people as well to manage it, since you're traveling and you're obviously are not there to manage the units.
Yeah, what we do is, we have a company we work with. It's Easy Storage Solutions. We call them ESS, and they're a call center. We take the number, we route it right to their call center. It costs about $2.70 per unit per month to have them be the call center. They sign customers right up online, or they take their information over the phone. They take the credit card and they put them on automatic payment. And they also do collections to a point. Somebody, their credit card didn't go through, or somebody's behind their payments, ESS actually calls them to try to get them to collect. And you know, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But so we have that, and then we put gates on all our facilities. I have one facility that doesn't have a gate on it that's automated, and that's my problem facility right now. We're debating on whether we're going to put a gate on it or sell it to a local person. We think we're just going to sell it to a local person. But just give you an idea, we purchased it in August. We paid $110,000 for it. We just put it on the market. It's in Missouri. I've never been there. We just put it on the market for $200,000, and we have 8 people looking at it between yesterday, today, and tomorrow. But it doesn't have a gate on it. So that's another step. So we have the call center, and we put a gate on it with a keypad. People have to enter the keypad to get in. Gate opens, and then they enter a keypad to get out. Nice thing with that is they don't pay their bill. We just shut their key code off, their 4-digit security code. They try to get in, their code doesn't work at the gate. They'll call the call center. Call center's like, oh yeah, we noticed your card didn't go through. You want to update that? And then we just renew their code. If they don't want to pay it, they're just not getting in our facility. So that's
Scott, how many do you have in the Rochester area? Do you have any here?
We do not have any. The closest one I have now is in Pennsylvania. We had a piece of land in Farmington that we purchased for a price. It was approved for 5,200 square feet. We met with the zoning board, got it approved for 13,200 square feet on an acre and a half of land, and we're selling that. We're not going to develop it. We're just deciding to sell that to somebody else.
Let's talk about storage wars. How involved are you getting that? There's money making right there, dude.
Yeah, just like flip this house, 7 days, you're done with the house, and you sell it and you make $100,000.
Come on.
Yeah, no, I haven't had anybody experience that yet. So
I wish I knew about your virtual storage contact, because I said it when I first logged on that I'm still trying to turn into an Airbnb, but I have a deadbeat tenant who hasn't paid his garage rent in like several months. But of course, he creeps up at like 5 a.m. to get his stuff.
can you put a double lock on it?
Oh, he'll just take it. Actually, the last time we did it, we put like a giant piece of plywood board and drilled it in, because it's basically a 2-car garage, or a car and a half garage, and he could get in from. And then when I did it, and I duct taped. You have to pay money, and then of course that's when he pays. Basically, when you give him like, get the hell out of here, pay your money, then he like magically, I was in California or on the moon or wherever. Here's my money. And so the only time he pays when you threaten to like lock him out, which is ridiculous. I don't, he could leave for, and then he's only giving me 100. I'd rather turn it into an Airbnb, which I can get much more.
That's a good idea. Yeah, I think so.
And my question, I saw earlier someone else was asking about the SBA. I'm interested in non-conventional financing. I'm trying to apply for the PPE loan, but basically what the small business people were saying, that landlords and storage units were basically obsolete, and they really don't care about if we go out of business, unlike the brick and mortar restaurants and retail stores. So basically PPE loans don't seem to apply for like landlords. And nonetheless, I'm going to apply and looking for non-conventional financing options.
Well, what are you looking to finance? What are you looking to finance? A house?
Turning my garage into an Airbnb.
Oh, so it's looking for like construction. So you got to rehab everything.
Well, yeah, the garage it's basically just a frame. So, I mean, he's using it for, storage. It's basically was storage ever since I bought the property.
Okay.
Except when I parked my car in it,
You're gonna turn that, what do you want to turn it into, Amy?
Like a tiny house Airbnb type spot. Like I have like an idea, but I'm still, open to ideas because I'm not an architect, but I know how I want, and I would even like to have like the roof to have like a since the roof needs to get done anyway, to have like a deck type rooftop deck and everything like that. I'm lost.
Yeah. I mean, that could be a possibility, non-conventional is what I do, financing, but I'm thinking the zoning on a garage to a living unit, that's got to be an issue.
I wouldn't be surprised, but I mean, to be honest, they want well, that's another story. I won't say about tax dollars, but the house right, but the house right across the street is always an apartment, but it's straight. You can straight up tell it was a garage that they turned into an apartment. They basically took the roof of the garage and made it like a point or whatever, like a triangle. They put like a pyramid on top of the garage and called it a roof, and they turned it into a 1-bedroom apartment. I mean, it's straight up same thing I have, except they changed the siding and put a roof on it.
All right.
I don't know how they went through the zoning, but I mean, if they don't mind charging us with not evicting people, they should happily let us do stuff. But I'm not a politician, so I don't know.
Are you talking to City of Rochester?
Oh, Cohoes.
I'm in Cohoes, so.
Where are you at?
The people in Cohoes, they said they've been evicting. The fact they said they've been evicting for the past couple of months is just anything with COVID, or they mention they owe you money, then that's when they start lying about COVID. But if it's like they're a nuisance or other laws, then they can supposedly get evicted. So, I don't know.
Amy's outside of Albany, Scott. Just a suburb of Albany.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Thanks.
I was going to tell you, look on YouTube for ideas for for turning that garage into that, because I've been looking at the same thing.
Oh, I've been doing that for a minute because actually the place I live now, when I first bought the property, I'm not, maybe because this was like 100,000 years old, this building, it had like this microscopic kitchen, then this teeny little closet that she used. I don't know what she used. She had like a shopping cart. I literally had to gut this whole apartment and turn it into open space. And I've been looking at Airbnb, YouTube. That's basically everything I know about the Airbnb business from YouTube. And then that, I don't know the name of the station that shows that the Undercover Boss and whatever that cable network is. What is it called? You know the station it is? I don't know the name, but they have they had an Airbnb show where it was a couple and they would buy a bus or hay silo or a tractor trailer. They would turn it into these really awesome tiny house Airbnb. So I looked at all of those, looked at like some other tiny house nation. I mean, I find them very fascinating anyway, so.
Yeah, I got some ideas for my garage from the YouTube, because the YouTube has a lot of garage setups, different garage setups that are really nice. But I was questioning the same thing with the zoning stuff though. But I mean, that's something, like you said, just talk to the city of Rochester and see what they got to say, you know?
And on top of that, if it's, what do you call it, handicap accessible, because the garage, obviously to get a car in there is, is wheelchair accessible. So wouldn't they be happy to make a property wheelchair accessible? Aren't they trying to do that now? Wouldn't that be a plus?
I mean, you're going to find a lot of the answers to your questions. Head down to the permit zoning office. Explain what you want to do, want to accomplish, and find out. They'll tell you, what's involved in terms of process and procedure. That's going to direct you to cost. And then that's going to evaluate whether or not it's worth it to do it. Because you're going to have to eventually do a stress test, market stress test, income versus cost of doing so, what's your recapture rate in terms of income versus cost. So you got to get down there to find out what's involved in the cost of making this happen, and then make that determination.
So the code, go to the permit office before you even have like a blueprint?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, in fact, you're going to need, absolutely. You got to find out what their zoning codes and zones, you might not even be able to do that where you are. I don't know your area.
I'll be surprised if she could.
Yeah. So, find out what the hurdles might be, find out what's in front of you. You're going to get a list. You're going to get a list of things you're going to have to bring back, and blueprints is one of them if you get that far.
Yeah. I mean, I'll just interject here real quickly that if you're trying to do that, given my knowledge of the code in the city of Rochester, it would be virtually impossible without spending a lot of inordinate dollars to get to that point.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I won't go through details now, but for example, I'll give you one example, and that would be if you have, you're going to build a new garage, or you're going to have a garage, you need to make sure you either keep the existing walls in place, or all the walls that you do put in place must be fire resistant. So I mean, just basic things like that. And it's been my experience that it makes it very, very difficult to just build a regular simple garage anywhere close to the lot line. If you're going to be 12 feet from the lot line, that's different. But, so as was indicated earlier, very, very important that you check out what the building codes are and how they would impact you if you're going to be doing some of the things you've talked about.
Here's what I do know. Your dream is not the city's code dream. Okay. They are different. And check it out real good. And there's going to be some things that you have no idea that you're going to have to comply to current code. And current code is so restrictive right now. Converting a garage is going to be a massive undertaking, in my opinion. So research it, find out, make a decision.
I think if I know like John McDonald, who's the councilman and former mayor, that they'll give me some,
Just go do what Carl told you to do.
yeah, I'll do it. I'm
You're
gonna check.
gonna what if this thing to death, and I know I want to get to other people too.
All
So
right.
we could what if this to death. So first step, exactly to a T, what Carl and Leon were talking about. Do that. Okay, that's what you need to do. And then because the reason why is that I know the time is flying over here, and I just want to go over a few things for some people here. And those are good questions, Amy. I just want to make sure. I don't know if anyone else has anything that they want to go over, anything they want to talk about also.
I'll answer one question that was in the chat. I think somebody asked about on the delinquent storage units. If I auction off a property or the storage unit and there's extra money left over, does it go back to the delinquent tenant? Well, in most states, yeah, it does. We have to try to find them. You know, they're invisible when they owe you money, but when there's money to be given back to them, all of a sudden they appear like, you know, Casper the Ghost. But yeah, in a lot of cases, if they owe you $300 and you sell the unit and you make $400, you have to search them out and they get the extra $400 or the extra $100. So, but that varies state by state. Every state's different on that. That's it.
Perfect. And by the way, I know I want to think of more questions for Scott, because when he's speaking, Scott's speaking the second Thursday of this May. So it's what, 3 weeks?
Too soon.
It'll fly right by for you. So if you got questions about storage, write them down, because we'll actually be a captive audience. Tomorrow he's speaking nationally. Next month it'll be here with us. So take advantage of that.
May 15th is the second Thursday. Is that the date?
Looks like it, yeah.
Sounds right.
It's the 13th. It looks like the 13th.
Yeah.
Well, explain to Amy, we have an AM and PM slot.
What?
Alternatives, we have an AM and PM slot, right? So 2 weeks from now, it's an AM slot.
Well, no, the evening meeting.
No, because this month has 5 weeks, has 5 Thursdays. So whatever the first, and I'm trying to read a calendar that's too far away from me, but the first Thursday looks like the 6th.
Right.
So that would be the morning.
Right. That's my point. So every other week, it's a morning AM. Amy, she doesn't know this. It's the morning slot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
And then
but-
2 weeks.
This is actually very simple. And so the simple way of thinking about it is,
Go to free.
we have 2 major groups. One is associated with landlording. I need to get rid of that word. I keep trying to get rid of it forever, landlording. Housing providers, and the other one is associated with alternative real estate strategies other than landlording, other than housing, being a housing provider. So that said, the first meeting of the month is the meeting where we have the alternative meetings, or the meetings where you have people talking about toilets, talking about wholesaling and how you would do wholesaling, and notes and all those sorts of things. So that's the first meeting.
Yeah.
And the second meeting is the housing providers in the morning, and then a general meeting in the evening. The key thing about that, to keep things sort of squared away, at least this is the way I do it, is that those first 2 meetings take place in the morning. Okay, and then the third and the fourth meeting, the third meeting is again the meeting where you have us going through things associated with how you buy houses, how you sell houses, how you wholesale. That's the third meeting. And then the fourth meeting is again the housing provider support meeting. And those 2 meetings at the end of the month is in the evening. So that's the way I sort of work it in my mind. The first ones are first in the morning, and the second ones are second and therefore in the evening.
Amy, you got that? You got that, Amy? You all good?
Sure. I just look on the calendar. I'm assuming it's on your calendar anyway, right?
I was gonna say that you could go to FFREIA.com, has the calendar.
Bottom line, the ones in the beginning of the month are in the mornings, the ones at the end of the month are in the evenings. That's
And do you know why that is, Joe?
FFREIA.com.
It's because I got so screwed up as to the morning and evening meetings. I couldn't keep them straight. So I changed all the first one to the morning and the second one to the evening.
That's the only way I keep track of it. Perfect.
I couldn't keep it straight, so the hell with it. I changed all the dates.
Perfect.
It's all your fault, Joe. All your fault, Joe. It's your fault, buddy.
It is because we had them the other way around.
So does anybody else have any other questions that they want to go over, anything they want to ask, any deals they're working on, anything they're looking at? Put it out there.
Joe, if you don't mind, somebody asked earlier in the chat, the PP loan, the PPP loan. Yeah, PPP
Yes.
loan. There is a company website out there called womply.com, WOMPLY.com. I just put it in the chat. I think I did. Yeah. Yeah. They're very experienced with that process of helping businesses with the PPP. They take you through the application process, everything you need to do. They get you to the end of this process. So it takes all the guessing, all the things you have to, they do it for you. And I'm not sure if there's a fee or not. If anyone wants to jump on, if there's a fee with Womply, but womply.com is apparently an awesome site that actually takes you through the PPP process, and there are funds available right now.
Yep, and just so that way you know, CNB, Canada National Bank, is one of the lenders connected directly with them. So if you contact them, I know Lindsay Moyer is one of the contacts. She can also help you out too. Okay, so she's fantastic at that.
Yeah, it's on the chat.
Perfect. I apologize, I'm not seeing the chat, so I appreciate Carl letting me know there's questions on there. Thank you so much. Any other questions? Everybody's good?
I got a question for you.
Go ahead.
This is my second time here showing my face at one of these meetings. My name is Dusty. I've spoken with you, Joe. I appreciate your time.
I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, and so I'm working on a deal in Syracuse right now, or I'm trying to anyway. And I have some questions, and I don't want to take up too much time here in this forum, but I was wondering if anyone has any contacts in Syracuse, or if anybody outside of this this chat might be willing to speak to me about wholesaling, or because this would be my first attempt at wholesaling a property.
Well, so what's the situation of the property? What can you tell us about it?
Well, I identified a property with a motivated seller. It's a pre-foreclosure. I contacted them today, and they suggested they were interested in considering my offer. I offered them $150, 7 to 14 days closing. I've got a partner in Utah that's sort of coaching me through this a bit. But at the same time, I still have a lot of questions. I don't have a good read on what the market value is for this property.
Well,
And
so how could you offer them 150 if you didn't know what it was worth?
well, I know approximately. I have a good idea what it would sell
What's it
for.
worth?
I believe it's worth over 200.
How far over 200?
I think as is, it's probably right around that 200 mark.
What about fixed up?
Say again.
What about fixed up?
Fixed
And
up.
there's a reason why I'm asking you this.
Mm-hmm.
Fixed up. If you were to fix this place up and resell it, okay, let's just say you wholesaled it to me. Okay. What
Right.
would I be able to resell this property for once I fix it?
So I did do some research today. I pulled some comps on some recent sales, 3 months worth of comps. There weren't many. And I was seeing properties similar in the same area go for 250 plus.
Okay. So here's my next question to you. All right, so you're gonna get it for 150. It's worth 250, so you got $100,000 spread, right? So how much work does it need, Dusty?
Not much. It's pretty much turnkey. It's definitely got a dated kitchen, and there are no appliances as is.
So someone's gonna put probably around figure 20.
Yeah, absolutely. 20 would be a good number.
Okay.
It doesn't have a garage. That's a potential opportunity there. It's got the space for it.
Okay. So let's use existing numbers right now. Okay. Well, first of all, for me, the way I would go look at it is like this. It's worth one. By the way, does the 150 cover their mortgage? You said they're in pre-foreclosure. Does that cover their mortgage in full?
So I should be completely transparent. I've only communicated with this person briefly. And it's all been via text message. So I have plenty to learn, and they said they are considering it. They said they'd get back to me when they had more time. This was an offer I submitted literally hours ago, and it was just kind of like I was just feeling them out. I'm just kind of winging it right now, to be completely honest with you.
No, it's all right. I mean, the reason, so right now you're just worried about what you'd be able to sell it for. Are you worried about being able to get rid of this property?
I'm not. I don't know if it would be reasonable for me to assume that I could get rid of it before closing, in which case I would need to double close. And
how much are you looking to make on it?
That's I don't really care, honestly. I just want to do it. You know what I mean? This is my first attempt.
All right. So let's reverse engineer this for everybody. This is the way I look at it. Okay. 150 closing costs, going to put it at 155. Let's just say Dustin wants to make $10,000. Now we're at 165. Okay. And let's just say there's $20,000 worth of work. Now we're at 185. Okay. Now we're gonna pretend this is worth $250,000, just like you're saying it is. Okay. So now we're at 185. Now we have holding costs. So let's just say you buy it within 30 days. By the way, 14 days, typically in New York, you're right around 30 days. Okay. Because it's New York. They don't like to do things easy. It's just the way it is. 30 days to buy it. You fix it up in your first 30 days. You sell it, because right now the market, sell within your first 30 days is 45 to 60 days for a pre-qualified buyer. Let's just say you do it all and you're done in 4 months with this property. So you have your holding costs and everything else. Let's just say that's another 5. Okay, that's going to be if they have to borrow the money, gas, electric, insurance, whatever. Now you're at 190. $250,000. They're going to sell it with a real estate agent. Commission is going to be $15,000. Now you're at $205,000, right? So let's just say you got to close on it again. That'll be another grand or two. To keep the numbers easy, let's just leave it at 205. Okay.
Yep.
At least $45,000 spread for someone who's going to flip it, which is actually not bad. You're over 20%, which is good. Now, once you throw in capital gains at 28 to 32%, depending where you're at, you're going to be somewhere, your net is going to be somewhere between 28,000 and change and 32,000 and change. So it doesn't seem like too bad of a deal. You'll make 10 grand, they'll make around 30 plus.
Okay. So I guess the one question I really had was whether or not anybody know if you have any contacts in Syracuse. I would like to speak with a real estate agent, somebody who's familiar with that market, who could potentially help me value the property, but I know that comes at a price.
No, I mean, you know, I may have somebody I can connect you with who actually, I know guys that are doing wholesaling over there right now. And I could probably connect you with
you know, a big thing I'd like to add to this too, and this is factored into my consideration, is this property is waterfront property. And I think it's,
oh man, it's right on the water.
It's a smoking deal. Yeah. I mean,
oh my God.
I was honestly shocked to see this person say they were considering, I consider it, so.
Well, T&C is going to hit them, time and circumstances, and maybe you got them at the right time. It's waterfront property. Waterfront property is always fantastic. And yeah, to me, it sounds like a no-brainer.
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, I really appreciate you filling me in here and giving me your take on it. But I'd love to chat with somebody more about it if there's an opportunity to do that with somebody.
Somebody posted in the chat that they knew some people in Syracuse. I briefly, I just saw it.
It's Mary Ann. Hi. I belong to a real estate group, FFREIA over there too. So I have
I didn't know if there was, I didn't know if there was one. You said
Mhm.
Mary Ann, correct?
Yep.
Hi, Mary Ann.
Hi.
How could I go about linking up with that group?
Yeah, we can talk offline, but I found them through Bigger Pockets.
Oh,
But it's
okay. I
the
love
regular RIA, and it's Dante Belmonte with Victory Capital.
You two need to connect. You guys should have each other's numbers on the chat box there.
Dusty, where's your home base?
This is a fun question for me to answer because I'm sort of in
Oh.
limbo right now. I'm actually sitting here in Florida outside in shorts and a t-shirt. So I'm trying to figure out where that is.
You can sign off now. You get out of here.
I'm considering moving to Utah and working out there with a friend of mine. But I still have my feelers out all over the country. I'm trying to figure out where I want to be, and I'm going to follow the money.
Yeah, but where's your home base? Are you from Rochester or Syracuse?
I grew up in Oneida. Yeah, I grew up real close to Rochester.
Yeah.
So,
Best of luck
Mary
to
Ann,
you.
I'll thank you. There's your contact. Perfect. I appreciate it.
Power of networking.
That's why I'm here.
Oh, that one speaking up. You may actually make 10 grand just from speaking up.
Yeah, like I said, I just kind of want the experience. I mean, obviously, I'd like to make a little bit of money, but I'm not going nuts on.
Dusty, I signed up for a while. Is this your first wholesale deal, or?
This will be the first one, yeah. Now, my father and I, we recently flipped a property. We owned a small construction company in Oneida until recently, and we flipped the property. So now we're in Florida.
Stay in Florida.
Yeah, I know, it's tempting. It really is.
I got one foot down there. I'll be seeing you soon.
It's a good place to be, especially this time of year.
What part of Florida are you in?
Right now, I'm in Gainesville visiting my mother, and the rest of my family's in close to Clearwater, Tarpon Springs area.
Awesome.
Let us know what happens with that deal in Syracuse too. I want to see you with a check, smiling.
Yeah, next month. We got 1 month for you to make that happen.
You better lock that deal down. Waterfront, I'd be all over that bad boy.
Yeah. So, does anybody have any suggestions on how I might further incentivize this? I've considered maybe offering them cash. Would it be smart to say, I'll cut you a check for a couple $1,000s if you want to sign this contract tonight, or get them under contract, or.
You got to be careful, which is why I ask in regards to them being when they're in pre-foreclosure. You really got to find out what the situation is and make sure that it's actually enough to cover their mortgage, because you also have, it's a whole other ordeal, the Home Equity Theft Protection Act. So you don't want to get in trouble because you want to feel like all of a sudden you're taking advantage of them. You're paying them to sign over their house and they're leaving all that equity. So that's a whole other story. Don't be afraid to call me, because I know you and I have talked a few times before, and we can go over that. But just be very careful. For me, whenever I do a deal, it's always cash. But my main thing is that I'd like to connect with them. Okay. And at least finding out what the situation is. Don't just be all about numbers. I had I'm picking up a house in Greece, and 2 or 3 other people went before me. And the reason why she actually went with me is because she felt more comfortable with me. She felt like I actually understood her, because she was going through a serious ordeal. And when people are in pre-foreclosure, you are right in the middle of all the crap that they're going through. And if they think you're just there all about numbers and putting them second, they'll consider you. But, you understanding them is going to go a heck of a lot farther in the long run. I'm just telling you. So that's why I try to figure out what they do. I want to know what they do, because that tells me how I have to communicate with them. And that also lets me understand them a little bit more. When I talk to Leon, he's an engineer. He's all about numbers. Okay. So I got to talk to him in statistics. He loves stuff like that. Okay. Me, if you talk to me with statistics and numbers, I'm looking up at the sky. Okay. So I know how to talk. I try to figure out how to talk to people. I know it'll get you a lot farther, but I would definitely find out what the situation is, how long it's been since they haven't paid, because actually, it's one thing I was going to talk about tonight, but obviously having a chance to. But you know, they're in pre-foreclosure. The moratorium is going to end pretty soon on the pre-foreclosure. So you know, someone's going to come knocking on the door and saying, "Hey, you know, you got to pay." So maybe they want to get ahead of that.
No, I may have misspoken. I will say I discovered that the Liz pendants was served in August of 2019. So it's been some time now.
Okay, so I would find out, because obviously there's been fees and interest and penalties. I've had people say to me, "Oh, well, you know, I only owe, you know, 100." And then I find out that they've been in foreclosure for 2.5, 3 years, and they actually owe like 130, 140. So you really need to find out. You should have them call their lender and say, "Look, I want to be respectful to you. At the same time, you know, we really need to know what the actual numbers are, so I can figure out, so I can give you, you know, a fair price in regards to what you're looking for."
Okay.
Well,
At least
good,
that
Joe,
way.
that leads me to the question. So pre-foreclosure, a very risky environment, right? So because they're in pre-foreclosure, they're in financial mess. So my question to you is, what I do, I don't even do a deal. I check the title, the abstract first. What's clouded on this thing? Not just the mortgage. They probably have other debt and judgments on top of this. I mean, so my question to you is, do you lock in the deal and then search that, or do you search that and then go for the deal?
Well, I mean, so we just did a couple of short sales. The one we just did a few weeks ago, maybe about 4 weeks ago, they had about 14 or $15,000 in credit cards and all kinds of stuff we had to take care of, but the deal still worked. But the on the pre-foreclosures, well, actually, it was a short sale. Okay, so on the pre-foreclosures, I'll try to do a short sale. Which, by the way, Dusty, they're not. You can't assign those. You have to close on those, but that's a whole other story.
A short sale. Just want to clarify. You're saying a short sale. That's what.
Short sale. You are not allowed to. You're not gonna be able to assign that. Okay.
Right.
And
Okay.
also, too, we just did one where they said you got to hold it for 90 days. So see, but the thing is that for us, even though we're reselling it, what we're making on it is I'll hold it for 6 months. I don't care. It's going to be worth it. Okay. But the point is that on the one that we just did, we kind of reverse engineered it. It was all based on what the bank was willing to accept for the property. Okay. Because if your people have been in foreclosure for 2 years, you know, I mean, unless they owe very little, and Carl hit the nail right on the head. That means there's credit card debt. That could be, you know, liens on their cars. Who the heck knows, you know? But on what we did was on the house in Greece, we got the price down far enough where even though we had to tack on the liens, the number still made sense. Okay, so you're not going to know where you're going to be at. And by the way, on a short sale, you can always walk away. You're not locked in at any time. Nobody is. The seller can walk away and you can walk away. Okay. We just did one where they did the person doing the BPO, the broker's price opinion, the one who's supposed to drive by, tell the bank what it's worth. He drove by the house. We're trying to get it for 35. He came in at 155. Okay. So then now we're like, okay, so now we have to do an interior inspection, so we can bring the price down. Okay. And then from there will be, again, because we're not going to know if it's going to be a good deal, and neither will you if this is going to be a short sale, until the bank comes back with a number. So I go there, I lock it up, because you're not going to lose anything.
Okay. Do you have a recommendation on inspection periods?
What do you mean inspection periods?
Like time frame, like if you're submitting a letter of intent or an offer, I mean, do you have like a 5-day inspection period, or gives you the opportunity to look at the property?
Here's the thing. I mean, for me, when I go through the property, obviously you're in Florida, you're 1,200 miles away. You can put something in and say, look, I want a partner of mine to go through the house. on a short sale, if it is gonna be a short sale, the bank doesn't care if there's no roof on the house, you're buying it as is. Okay, but if you're interested in, you know, if you're interested, you know, in getting this house under contract, you can say, look, I want my partner to be able to take a look at it. You can add whatever you want on there. Especially if you connect with Mary Ann and some of the other people out there in Syracuse, and let's just say you find a potential buyer, they're gonna go to that house and look at it anyways. And, you know, just like you do, you've got experience in construction, but you're 1,200 miles away. I'm sure whoever goes to look at it's gonna have at least experience enough, you know, where they can say yes or no to the property. Okay.
Okay.
Joe, a question. So pre-foreclosures, you know, you have all kinds of people lined up on title for IOUs, right? So how often or how successful are you in negotiating buy downs?
We've had to walk away from a few of them, but we've been more successful than not. It's a numbers game, you know, and then understand for everybody who's on this call right now, some people think, well, pre-foreclosure is big deal. Some people may think it's not going to affect everybody on here. Understand something here. We have more people who are basically on this moratorium. Okay, what they figured out, actually, I wrote this down actually. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, they were created back when 2008, everything hit from when the market hit, when the market tanked, okay? And they released numbers. There are more people right now on the moratorium not paying than there was back in 2010, okay? Now, the Consumer Protection Bureau is warning all of, they actually sent out a letter to all the servicers saying you need to work with your clients. They're telling them because they know there's going to be a huge influx of people going into foreclosures, and the pre-foreclosure market is going to be insane. So inventory is going to be coming. So for those of you who aren't as familiar with pre-foreclosures or short sales, you need to get familiar with it. They are going to hit. And what's going to happen is that as the moratorium ends, a lot of these people are going to automatically be put into pre-foreclosure. And that is going, and the ones who get ahead of what's happening, and we discussed this last Thursday a little bit, or actually last Thursday morning on our meeting, we didn't get a chance to finish. Just understand that you need to be able to be the solution. So there's going to be more and more of these coming out. And I talked about this last Thursday morning also. Back in 2006, 7, 8, whatever it was, Bank of America for the short sale department, it was called the loss mitigation department. They're the ones who handle the short sales, people going into pre-foreclosure. They only had 100 people in that department. When the market tanked, there was over 30,000 people in that department. Okay. And they know that bureau has been warning all the banks, be prepared and get ready. So that is going to be bringing in a huge influx of inventory, you know, into the market. It's not going to be next month. It's not going to be, you know, 2, 3, 4 months from now, but it's going to be coming. So get prepared for it. I am definitely, you know, you have to be able to be a solution. So if you want to be able to get in the way of these, of what's going to be coming, and you can't go in there and kind of like a predatory type person or predatory way. You got to be able to go in there and offer these people a solution, because a lot of these people are not going to be able to pay. Just like that gentleman, you know, that one that you're working with, Dusty, in Syracuse over there, you know, obviously he's in pre-foreclosure for a reason. Okay. And you have to be able to offer them a solution, and you really got to get familiar with that. You know, so it's like some of the things that I do, especially when I'm talking to someone in pre-foreclosure, and if I have to mention a short sale, I say, look, you know, you can keep doing what you're doing. You can stay there for free, at the same time, if you do a short sale, it's going to ding your credit. It's just not going to follow you around for the next 7 years like a foreclosure will. That way you can actually move upward and onward. And when I tell that to people, they're like, wow, I didn't know that. And I go, and it kind of like, it's a light bulb. And they're like, oh, wow, maybe if I let this place go, maybe if I do a deal with Joe or whoever, I can move on with my life and then maybe get back to where I was. So get familiar with short sales. I know we don't have a whole lot of time left on here, and we can save that for another time to talk. Just understand is that you have to be able to figure out where the next wave of opportunity is going to be coming. And it's not a question of opportunity as far as taking advantage. Okay, be the solution to people, because they're going to need to get out of the situation that they're in. So when you go there and you can tell them, hey, listen, I can buy your house. I can get you out of the situation. On a short sale, you can also get possibly money back from the bank, where you can move upward and onward and take care of your kids. Because what's going to be happening here, once a moratorium ends, these people are already thinking, okay, right now I'm okay. But that net is going to be pulled right out from underneath them pretty soon, and it's going to punch them right in the face. And they need someone to help them out. So all of you on this call, start really looking into what's going to happen with short sales. When shorts, I haven't done a whole lot of short sales in years. In the last few months, I've done 3. We're going on 4, and I'm about to start a 5th one. Okay, so people who are in pre-foreclosure are going to be looking for a solution before basically before it's too late. Okay, and man, it's almost 8:30 here. So I know we kind of didn't get to a lot of stuff that we really wanted to go over in regards to that, though. But anybody have any questions about anything we just talked about?
Yeah, Joe, I do. Can you hear me, Joe?
Yeah, I can hear you, John. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Start to finish, how long does the process of a short sale actually take, average?
Yeah, Joe, answer that question.
Sometimes
I'm laughing.
Sometimes, John, it's like you watching me, watching your neighbor, watching your neighbor's dog, watching grass grow.
That's what I thought.
Now we just did one where it took 3 months.
Really?
Yeah, it was like a little over 3 months. So it just depends. And then we did another one. Yeah, actually did 2 of them. Holy smokes, that's right. Yeah. We've had other ones that have taken 6, 7, 8 months. I know people have taken a year.
So it varies.
There's no rhyme or reason.
Okay, just curious.
I wish there was.
But typically it's a long time. Now, Joe, those 3 months, that was a fluke, right? I think they may have been advanced in the process by the time you got involved. That's what that was about.
No, I mean, we started, I was shocked. I was like, holy smokes. So, who knows? Maybe they actually, finally got smart and, and honed the system out a little bit better. But short sales can be a great way to, to really go after deals. And, and you can do a bunch of them at a time. I've seen some people, though, all of a sudden do like 7, 8, 9, 10 of them at once. And the next thing you know, 5 of them start to close at once and they're freaking out because they don't have all the money. They're hoping they'd be staggered. But with a short sale, you're allowed to walk away. And remember, you can't wholesale them. And like the one we just did, they didn't care. Well, we just closed on one where it was 90 days. One before that, they had no anti-flip rule, so I could have sold it the next day if I wanted to. No rhyme or reason. Okay.
I think, Joe, one of the key things is if you look at all the things that are being written in the rag, so to speak, there are going to be a lot more of them, as you indicated. But the key thing is, and it's been indicated by some of the things that's been going on, the time period that it takes to actually execute one of these things is becoming much, much shorter.
Yep. And understand, everybody, that it's just a question of really, and I know some people for short sales, we're gonna have to get into this another time on another call for this, but there's if you talk to somebody about a short sale, most people have no idea what the heck they are. And when I started trying to do them, I would confuse the seller and confuse people do nothing. So once you're educated, and it's not that hard, okay? As long as you make them feel comfortable and they know you know what the heck you're doing, you're gonna get a much more positive response, okay? And because remember, when people are in foreclosure, there's issues. Something's going on. So you're in the middle of all the garbage that's happening right now. So giving them some clarity and a light at the end of the tunnel is going to go a heck of a lot farther. So when you're there, you can actually have an intelligent conversation with them. And I've had some of them like almost like want to hyperventilate. I'm like, listen, you got to calm down because this is the whole process. I explain the process I try to explain it in 60 seconds or less. If you overcomplicate it, you're done. Okay. So for me, I'm just like, look, you owe 200. I'm going to see if the bank will take 100. You're going to walk away. You'll be able to live your life, and you won't have to worry about paying that other $100,000 back. As a matter of fact, they even have a program called Cash for Keys. Well, they'll even pay you. Why will they pay you? Because they don't want you to destroy their property while you're trying to do the short sale. So they're giving you an incentive to keep the property in a decent shape. And also gives you money to be able to move upward and onward, and it won't even be a foreclosure on your record. Instead of being an anchor on your neck for this next 7 years, you just have to rebuild your credit from it being dinged. Done. Okay. And then if they have questions, then you start answering their questions. Don't overcomplicate it. We're like, well, the bank has to do a BPO, and then once they come through, then, we have to figure out, about the numbers and the closing costs, and we have to do the title survey. No, don't even get into that. Okay. So keep it simple. And we're going to actually, it's after 8:30. We want to be respectful of everybody's time here. This is going to be, a subject for another time, but understand we need to start getting educated on short sales. Okay. And if you don't want to, that's okay. Just understand it's about getting ahead of what's happening here. Okay. I know it's 8:30 right now. I'm going to stick around for a few more minutes for anybody who just wants to go over a couple of things here or just talk or whatever. But I appreciate everybody being on here. Definitely check out FFREIA.com. I know next week is going to be Carl and Beth's a housing provider meeting, and I appreciate everybody being on this call. I look forward to seeing everybody again, and go do some real estate. And if you tell me it's 8:30, it's late. It's 5:30 in the afternoon on the West Coast. Find people who own properties on the West Coast here in Rochester and call them. All right. Have a great night, everybody. Thank you so very much.
You are a machine, Joe. Yeah, freaking.
No, I'm not. It's 5:30 in California right now. 5:32. They're begging to sell their properties here in Rochester, New York. They're waiting for you to call.
Thanks, Joe. Super job.
Thanks,
As
everybody.
usual.
Good night, everybody.